Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we tell you what to expect on a very Merrytime sailing.
Let's dive in.
All right, and this is episode number 157.
Welcome back. Okay, we're just going to call and say it. We've done the intro 17 times. This is the one we're taking.
Why can't we just get through it without laughing?
Well, we were having a funny conversation prior to this. So, sorry, everyone. Welcome back. We're so glad you're here.
Welcome back. It's been another successful week in the household full of Christmas cheer because it's coming to an end.
You guys.
And we're soaking it up.
Seriously, as we're recording this, Christmas is 10 days away.
10 short days. We're almost done. We're like 90% done shopping.
Mm-hmm.
We decided last minute to do a gift exchange in the family, so we got to go finish up a couple things there.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much done. I feel pretty good about it. I would have rather had it done, but we have to go brave the shopping area where we live. It's just a mess.
Seriously.
During this time of year. So we got to go brave the drivers over there.
And then the fun part of wrapping everything.
Yes.
I'm
that's
excited.
my least favorite part. I'm not very good at it.
Yes, you are.
I waste a lot of wrapping paper.
That's okay.
So don't get the good stuff for me because I'm very bad at it. But hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're almost done with the shopping. If not done, good for you. But I know everyone has to get that last minute thing in.
I know.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, before we dive into today's episode, join us over on Patreon. We have got a Patreon, like I just mentioned. It's over on our website, markethousepodcast.com/support. You can get some more details and information over there, and you can join us. It's just it's a group of people that want to support the show, which we appreciate greatly. And then you also get some bonus content. I'm going to have an episode coming for you guys pretty soon here that talks about some fun stuff in our life. So that's available for you. Also, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and or Spotify. So you can do a written review and a 5-star rating on Apple and just a 5-star rating over on Spotify. No writing required. Both are a huge, gigantic, I can't say it enough, huge help to the show because that also just pops us up in the search results and then also lets us know how you're liking the show. So we would appreciate that if you can spend 2-3 minutes doing that. We would be forever grateful. All right, let's dive into the episode.
Let's do it.
All right, that brings us to our main and honestly only segment of this week's episode, and that is what to expect on a very Merrytime sailing.
Yes.
So before I dive in, really quick, we're going to pause. I kind of lied. I was going to not do news this week because there really wasn't anything exciting. There's kind of just more updates of Disney World stuff that was already announced a year ago, and it's just some more updated dates. That's not really exciting to me, so I was going to just not do it. But today, as we were sitting there about to record, Caitlin saw something interesting and I saw something interesting. Number one, I'll just briefly go through this because I don't know honestly much about it. All I know is that cast members are getting a big payout over here in Disneyland from a wage kind of settlement issue. Apparently they were not paid properly, and so there's a $230 million wage replacement, wage
like
penalty correction thing. So good for you cast members for fighting for that because you're due that money and owed that money. And Disney should pay you, and I'm glad that they are.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whoa.
$230 million. I think it's the largest wage settlement in history, is what I read. I don't know if that's true. Again, I don't know a ton about it, so I'll kind of stop there. But that's interesting and a big win for cast members, in my opinion. And then next and finally is I am sitting there scrolling Reddit, and I follow the subreddit for Disney Cruise Line, and I see that the Disney Treasure, which, let me remind you, is brand spanking new. It technically hasn't had a paid sailing yet. That doesn't happen for another week, the week of Christmas, right?
Right.
It's had some kind of cast member preview sailings and social media people. They've been invited on to showed off.
Yes.
So nothing paid yet. This is brand spanking new. Apparently the sprinkler system, the fire suppression system in the atrium, the Grand Hall, glitched out. And it poured water down for 3 minutes, is what's being told on Reddit. Now, again, this is not an official news report. I don't know any other details other than water has been everywhere.
In 3 minutes, that's a long
That's
time
a
with
long,
water,
it's a lot of water.
right?
So I don't know if that completely ruined it. I don't know if they can dry it out. I don't know if they have to rip out carpet, furniture.
Well, luckily, it's one of those things where like I don't think the water, because you know in like buildings when there's a fire, when the sprinkler system turns on,
It's
it's all the dirty
brown and
water.
disgusting. Yeah.
Luckily, it's a newer ship, so the water hasn't been sitting too long.
No, it probably didn't smell. It was fairly fresh water, fairly,
But
right?
still, I'm like the damage for like the carpet and all
Yes.
the furniture in there.
Apparently, there was no one on board because that social media cruise has ended. I think it was empty. So thankfully, no one got water sprayed all over them. But I don't know what they're gonna do.
No.
I don't know any other details. So I'm hoping there's some official stuff that comes out. But as of right now, that's what I'm seeing. I hope it's accurate. But I just wanted to get that out there because that's really sad.
That's a bummer.
That's a big bummer.
My
So
gosh.
hopefully the official sailing, the inaugural, can happen without a hitch. But I don't
Yeah.
know. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's dive into talking about Disney Cruise Line. I know some of you may be like, you've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, but we just want to share in the love.
Yeah, and it's more so about, we kind of covered our trip experience and what our family did. We kind of want to dive into everything that Disney Cruise Line offers for the Merrytime sailing, because if you guys haven't been around for the last 2 episodes where we kind of talked about our trip report that we just did, this was our first Merrytime sailing, so we didn't really know what to expect other than what we saw in YouTube videos. So we thought this would be a really great opportunity to kind of dive in, tell you everything that they offer, everything that you and your family can do, because we did have like multiple messages about, hey, what does Disney Cruise Line offer for Merrytime?
Yeah, like they were thinking about doing it. Should we do it? Is it worth it?
Right.
All those questions. So hopefully this answers your questions. It is a premium, right? It costs a little extra, not much. It costs a little extra to get on these Merrytime sailings. So I understand you want to make sure it's worth it because it is a little sticker shock every single time we go on and price these out. So let's talk about what they offer and what we experienced. Again, we're not going to talk about too much of that. We just dove in, like Caitlin mentioned, in the last 2 episodes for our trip report. So if you want a deep dive on what we did, go back and listen to that. We're just going to kind of tell you what Disney offers and maybe what we thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be brief about it though because we just talked about it. Let's start with the decorations. So the atrium, you walk into this thing, it is stunning.
It's absolutely beautiful.
So they've got a giant Christmas tree that is not lit yet when you walk in, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to spoil anything, but they do light it in a big, flashy way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's covered in garland and it's like twinkling lights.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a giant gingerbread house in there that smells like a gingerbread.
It's huge.
It's gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you all the facts. It took this many thousands of pounds of flour and all this stuff to build. So it's very impressive. And it's just magical. They've got Christmas music playing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very, very good time.
And then another thing that we noticed on this cruise is a lot of so for those who aren't familiar with Disney Cruise Line, there are 3 dining locations that you rotate throughout your entire cruise. And depending what ship you're on, they all are different. But for the Fantasy, there is Animator's Palette. Is it Royal Court?
Royal Court or Royal Table?
I always get them confused.
I know. They're different on some of the ships. So
okay, and
I
then
don't
Enchanted Garden. We were pleasantly surprised to see there was very minimal, but there was some Christmas decor throughout the restaurants.
Yeah, it's just enough to where I'm like, ooh, it's Christmassy in here, but not enough to where it reduces the theming of the restaurant
That's
itself.
a great way
Does that
to
make
put it.
sense?
Yeah.
So Enchanted Garden still feels like Enchanted Garden, just little tiny Christmas touches. Same with Animator's Palette and so forth.
Right. And then one thing I did want to mention is I've heard quite a few people kind of get a little nervous to take these themed cruises because they're like, I don't want it to look like Christmas like threw up everywhere. Like I want it to be very minimal. Caleb and I were obsessed. Like more decorations, the better. But some people are not like that, and that's totally fine. I did want to mention Disney isn't very in your face with Christmas. Like Caleb mentioned, in the atrium or the Grand Hall, depending what ship you're on, it is very beautifully decorated. But other than that, like the ship is very minimally done.
It's very subtle.
It's not like Christmas is on every single door and like curve around the ship. So you have nothing really to worry about. The Christmas music, yes, they were playing it throughout the cruise, but I did notice towards the end of the cruise, they started playing like normal.
No, so they would play on the theme days. They would play something else. So Pirate Night.
Yes.
It was pirate music all day,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course when you were docked at the islands, it was kind of the island music.
Yeah.
And then you're right, they would kind of mix. There almost be like a break in the evening where they would play normal Disney Cruise Line music,
Which I loved.
Yes, and then during the day it was some fun Christmas. So they kept it fresh enough to where I wasn't bored. Like, oh my gosh, if I hear this song one more time.
Yeah.
So it was good.
And same with the entertainment that's usually in the atrium. There's usually someone playing live music, whether they're solo or there's like a duo.
Little
down there.
band, yeah.
They would kind of switch it up. There would be like Christmas music and then there'd be regular Disney music. So I really appreciated that.
That was nice. And then one of the piano players, he played what was it? The Disney World fireworks show,
Oh,
Happily Ever After.
Happily Ever After.
He was playing that one night.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
It was great.
So yeah, they would switch it off.
I really appreciated that it wasn't just like Christmas the entire time, because usually you go, okay, are they just going to play the same 10 tracks when they're on the cruise? But they actually had a really great playlist.
They did.
So I loved it.
And I was surprised to hear, like, I'm used to Disneyland, which is all the
characters and
well, no, not that. It's the just kind of boring, like, this is Carol of the Bells with bells. It's like all the like royalty-free music almost. It's all in the public domain.
Right.
So it's very boring and there's no lyrics, and I don't like, honestly, Disneyland's music during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But here they had like all the hits. They
had
Michael Bublé playing, they had Jonas Brothers, they
Frank
had
Sinatra.
Yeah,
and
Mariah Carey herself.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So it was fun. Let's move on here. Also, you can find little Christmas trees sprinkled throughout, like Caitlin said.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just enough touches to where it was nice, but also not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So we like that. The crew were also wearing fun Christmas items like scarves and Santa hats.
Super fun.
That was fun to see.
Yeah, very minimal, but again, enough to be like, oh, it's a fun touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally, they decorated Castaway Cay. There was a giant Christmas tree on the island. They had garland around. What else did they have? They had music playing that was like Christmas Island music.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more, but we weren't really paying attention to it. We were more like, to the splash pad.
Yeah. Let's get out of the heat. So again, just enough to appreciate the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
So the decorations were nice. Let's move on to the characters and what to expect with them.
Oh my gosh. So for those who don't know, every year Disney releases new character outfits for the parks and as well with the cruise line. They're actually different costumes, which I really love. Sometimes I'm kind of like with the parks, yeah, I like them. Other times, like this
Not a
year,
huge fan.
I wasn't a big fan of them. But for example, like storytellers, with the dining that you could do at Disneyland, or excuse me, at the Grand Californian, the characters had different outfits there for Christmas. So it's just kind of great to see that they kind of differentiate whether like where you're at by park or by sea. So anyway, the Disney Cruise Line character outfits this year were absolutely adorable. Goofy was in a Santa costume. And again, I'm not going to go one by one, but they're all just have like their own little thing. And I loved it.
Yeah, it looked really good. And then also what I appreciated was they would switch in and out of their Disney Cruise Line garb, like their regular stuff. So you can take pictures with them. It looks like the cruise line. And then the next day, they'd be all in their Christmas gear.
Or pirate night.
Or pirate night. So they changed outfits like 4 or 5 times throughout the cruise. So that was really, really neat. So you can get Goofy in 3 or 4 different outfits in all different pictures. So I appreciated that. It kept it fresh. It kept it fun and new. Belle was in her Christmas gown the entire time.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. Maddie loved her. So that's the only reason I remember is because she loved the big red dress that Belle was in. So that was fun.
Pretty.
Okay, let's talk about the exciting thing, the thing I was most excited for, and that was the Christmas tree lighting.
Yes, this happens on the very first day, right?
Yeah,
when we get on the cruise.
very first day, the early evening. So you walk in, like I mentioned earlier, into the atrium. There's a big tree there, but it's not lit yet. It's decorated. It's got ornaments, but it's not lit. So if you, after the, what's the thing called? You go to the drill, the muster
the
drill
muster
thing.
For safety, yeah.
After you do that junk, after you do your lunch, after all that good stuff, that evening, they have an event. It is the Christmas tree lighting event. So we didn't know this, to get a good seat, you have to get there very early. We got there like 10 minutes early and we kind of got shoved into a corner. We found a little opening, slid ourselves in, and it was right where the characters come out on deck 4. So it was kind of neat to see them. You kind of see everything from behind them when they do the show part. Yeah. But it was still decent.
It was nice though, being at the top of the stairs where they were coming out and going back in, because they were all like right in Maddie's view, which was really nice.
That was nice. So they do a little show. I think there's a song and dance number deal. And you get to see all the characters for the first time in their Christmas costumes. You get to see Santa Claus himself and Mrs. Claus come out.
So fun.
So fun. And then they do this countdown, and then the tree is lit. Everyone claps. Everyone's fun. They all go back. And then the Christmas tree is lit for the entire sailing after that.
And there's just all the twinkling lights. And it is truly, truly stunning, especially when it's dark outside. Like, it's so pretty. I can't even get my words out. I love it so much.
It's very pretty. So definitely it's a must do in our opinion. So definitely make it for that if you want to see the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. It's a must do. Next up, let's head over to the Santa Claus meet and greet and pictures.
Yes.
What to expect for that. So again, what's Christmas without Santa Claus himself? They make sure he is there almost, I think it's every single night. He is doing a meet and greet picture situation right in front of that giant Christmas tree in the atrium every single night for your family. So we spent, 4 or 5 nights on this cruise ship without taking pictures of them. And I think the second to last night, we finally took pictures The line was barely, there's maybe 4 or 5 people in front of us.
Mhm.
Just it felt good to not be rushed into something
Right.
to be like, oh, he's only here tonight or
Yeah.
something. He was there the entire cruise, so you can take your time trying to meet him.
Yeah, it was really nice. And they also offered some hot cocoa and warm chocolate chip cookies.
Every time he was out.
It was so fun.
So yeah, ending your night with cookies and hot chocolate was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Plus you get to meet Santa.
Yeah.
Which again, we had so much fun. Maddie was a little like
from a distance, she liked Santa Claus. I think, she waved at him a lot and all that good stuff. But right when we went up to him, she got a little nervous.
No tears.
No
though.
tears. That
Mhm.
was nice. So Caitlin actually sat next to Santa, Maddie on Caitlin's lap, and I sat on the other side of Santa, right on top of his lap. And then we took a picture. So that was
Yeah.
nice. No tears, but she's still not a huge fan.
Yeah. Fun memories though. I love the picture.
I know.
She's just staring into the camera.
It's very stoic.
Yeah.
Just a stare of like, I'm not happy nor sad. Just, I'm here.
And I have to admit, the photographers in those situations, they were literally, I felt like one of the photographers was doing cartwheels
To get her attention.
Maddie's attention. So
Yeah.
like they go all out if you have little ones.
They work hard. And imagine they're doing that for hundreds, if not thousands of people. So kudos to the cast members that are making that magic happen. So let's go to Mickey and Minnie's holiday deck party. This happens on the top deck on your sea day. So this happened on night 3 for us.
Yes.
And I knew this was going to happen. I didn't know what to expect.
Because we didn't see anything on videos. Like we kind of purposely skipped a lot of this because we didn't want it to be ruined.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
So we go up there not expecting much, and we were honestly surprised. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of retro themed, 60s-ish kind of Christmas style.
Mhm.
And they had some songs up there. They were dancing. The characters came out, of course, and sang and danced. And then I believe it snowed at some point.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of anything else. Anything?
No, it's just a lot of Christmas songs
Okay.
and kind of just like a lot of dancing for the little ones. But again, our whole family was up there. And I think speaking for everybody, I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So.
And it wasn't Pirate Night fireworks where, it's a crush of people.
Yeah.
We had room.
Right.
It was kind of chill. So that was really nice, and it's worth going to. And then trivia and crafts. This is another
Yes.
selling point for the cruise. It is again, very Merrytime, so it's Christmas themed.
Mhm.
So throughout the entire cruise, they've got programming that fits that theme. So you've got crafts for the little ones. I think at one point they did gingerbread cookie decorating.
Yes.
They did ornaments. I think
Mhm.
they made little paper ornaments and colored it in.
Mhm.
We honestly didn't pay too much attention to the craft stuff, but
Yeah.
I think there's way more
There's
that
a
I'm missing.
ton. Yeah.
There's one thing that everyone can cook. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Which they have that on all of the sailings. It just varies on what you're cooking.
Yeah, I believe there was a Christmas themed thing for
It
this
was
though.
the Yule
Yule
log.
log.
Like, is it like a chocolate cake or something? It's some sort of like cake.
Yeah.
But that's so fun though.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So you get to watch the pastry chef cook it right in front of you, or bake it, I guess.
Yeah.
And how to do it.
One thing we really did enjoy was all of the holiday/Christmas themed trivia. Like that was a ton of fun.
Ton of fun. So normal trivia, of course, is offered 80% of the time, but also, 2 out of 10, let's say, trivias, there was holiday themed stuff. So we did the holiday music trivia.
Mm-hmm.
This was pretty good. We did okay. We did fairly well. This was the night, actually, if you listen to our trip report, you'll hear that I got glutened. I've got celiac disease, so I can't have wheat, rye, and barley. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But that's the night that I was feeling very ill.
That's right.
And I specifically remember that night because we're sitting there doing trivia, and I was like, I do not feel very well at all.
Yeah.
And so we, got through it, muscled through it, and then went back to the room.
Yeah.
But we did holiday music trivia. There was a holiday movie trivia. We did not attend. There was a lot.
There was, I think, a couple of, obviously there was, you said holiday movie already?
Yeah.
That one. There was one, I think, about Christmas at the parks. I think that was one of the
that's
trivia.
right.
There is literally a ton. So, like, if you are a Christmas fiend, like we are, like, there's so many different things. And it's not just the basic, like, what song is this? What movie is this? Like, there's some pretty fun ones that you can
That's tricky.
basically attend.
Yeah, it's very tricky. So it keeps it exciting and fun and not very boring. And then finally, there's some exclusive merch.
Mm-hmm.
Disney is known for the exclusive merchandise. It gets you excited. It gets you wanting to spend money, and it worked on us. So they had, what did they have that was of note to you? Did we buy anything that was exclusive to Very Merrytime?
No. So the one thing I will mention is they do have a couple like Very Merrytime like cruise line sailing merch items, but a lot of them were the ones that you can get at the parks.
You're right. It was a lot of park merch.
Which I was kind of a bummer because I thought, like, for example, they have the Mickey and Minnie like holiday plush. I thought that would be like Disney Cruise Line themed. I don't think it was. It was just the regular park ones.
You're right, because I saw my dad ended up buying Maddie a Christmas elf mini. Like she's dressed up like a little Christmas elf.
And it's the same one you can get in
yes,
Disney
because
Springs.
she wanted it really bad in Disney Springs.
Yeah.
And was like, holding it for half the time. And I'm like, oh, I need to grab that for you. We didn't end up going back. Sorry, Maddie.
Yeah.
But my dad came through and bought it for her on the ship. So it was the same exact one.
Yeah, so they had that, and then of course they had all like the Christmas ears and the mugs, but again, it's all the same stuff that you can get at the parks. But I did want to mention every cruise, and this isn't just for the Merrytime ones, Disney Cruise Line offers Christmas ornaments. Highly, highly, highly recommend checking those out. Again, they're on all the sailings, not just the Merrytime cruises. They have like this really cute, we got one, it was almost like, it doesn't have like the specific name of the ship, so it didn't have the fantasy on it, but it was just the Disney Cruise Line ship with a bunch of garland and like wreaths all over it to symbolize, oh, hey, Merrytime Cruise.
Yes.
But there was one that I loved, and it was a like Mickey snowman, but it was made out of sand from like Castaway Cay. So that was a really cute one. So just definitely check those out.
Yeah, check them out. I used to be anti-Disney ornament.
I know.
Because let me tell you why. I had a compelling reason. They are like 40 pounds each. So in your tree, it looks a little silly, in my opinion, when half the branches are like drooping down because you've got these giant, heavy ornaments on them. It's just hard to kind of like accommodate. So
you don't feel that way anymore, though.
Now we have a kid,
Yeah.
and I'm going to make anything happen for her. So we bought this little tree that I made sure, an artificial one, that like it was pre-lit and all that good stuff. And I made sure that the branches were substantial to hold, but I've got to like support it. I've got to have like 3 branches that support one ornament. So
it works.
You
and
can't
it's
have
so cute.
50 ornaments on there. So we're building our collection out. As you know, they're very expensive. So we buy 2 or 3 at a time, and we'll hopefully by next year have a fully decorated little Disney tree for her. And she loves it. She goes and
so fun.
either pulls on the branch, which we have to tell her, let's not do that, or she goes and points to the Sebastian ornament, which sings
Under the Sea.
Under the Sea.
She loves that one. And then there's the Winnie the Pooh one.
She loves to poke Winnie the Pooh.
What else is there? There's
Tangled.
There's a little, so we got one to represent her first Disneyland trip. And so we have the, it's like the little ornaments that are like the ear hats, but they symbolize a ride.
Yes.
So we have Small World. We got the Sebastian one. What else am I missing? We have the cruise line one. Oh, we got her one in Disney Springs. It's a little Pluto, like Christmas one with her name and the year on it. That one's super special.
Yes. And that was, the pricing on that was a little tricky.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of misleading. I don't want to spend too much time, but basically, for customization, it's going to be an extra $5. Oh, but it's an extra $5 for this, and it's an extra $5 for this. So it ended up being like a $35, $40 ornament.
I know.
So it's okay. And then what else? She has a little Mickey Mouse with a little room for a picture.
Which we need to print.
Yeah. But it's a passport size, so if you want to go get it printed, it's $20 because they think it's a passport photo.
Whoops.
I'm like, it's the most expensive ornament in the world. So anyways, we're building out a collection, but fun ornaments on the ship, like Caitlin mentioned. And then let's finally just talk about our overall thoughts. Is it worth it to us? We had an amazing time on the Merrytime sailing. We have done 4 non-themed cruises, just plain vanilla cruising. Those are amazing.
Right.
But that that Christmas overlay was really, really magical.
You honestly, in my opinion, you can't beat it. It was like, I don't know.
Do you like it more than normal cruising?
I don't know. That's really hard to say because I'm like, obviously I wouldn't want a Merrytime cruise in June.
Year-round.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think if you want to do something like I think honestly with the price tag, it's hard for me to be like, hey, if you've never cruised, go do a Merrytime because they're very expensive. But I will have to say, if you've done a couple cruising, or honestly, if you just love Christmas, I highly recommend at any point just trying at least one of them. It was a really good experience. I loved it. I literally told Caleb like the second night, like I literally can't wait to do another Merrytime cruise just because it truly ignited the like Christmas spirit for like the whole season. Since we did take it in November, it was kind of like a jump start. And it made me come home like so excited to just do all the Christmas things.
Yeah, and I'll admit I went into it because we're, like I mentioned before, we're a November 1st family. We love decorating November and just really loving the season for 2 months. And this year, again, we're having that mild weather in California. It doesn't really feel Christmassy to me before the trip. And so leading up to it, I was not feeling it a ton. We had barely decorated. We got the tree up. We didn't put the ornaments up yet. I hadn't done the outside of the house. So I'm like, I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
The cruise, I came back like Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the tree done. I was doing the outside lights within a couple days. Like it totally jump-started my love for the season. So it helped a lot. So It's an expensive way to get excited for Christmas.
Yeah, and I honestly, in regards to what I was saying about like if you haven't done a Merrytime cruise before, I would honestly, and tell me if you agree, I think I would recommend doing a normal sailing prior to doing a themed
Yeah,
one.
because then you know what to appreciate.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where you don't get a lot of the normal Disney Cruise Line activities on a Merrytime sailing. There are a few, but they're not the normal round, I would say. So if you are considering doing one for the first time, I would definitely recommend checking out like just a normal sailing. And then if you fall in love as we have, definitely do a Merrytime. We have never done the Halloween sailing or Halloween on the high seas. We have a couple friends who have done them and they love them. So anything with the holidays, we all know that Disney does very well, whether it's pumpkins or Christmas trees. But in regards to the Merrytime,
They know how to do it.
It's so good.
Yeah, so we would recommend it. Again, there's a premium. We think it's worth it to do once in a while. I don't know if I'll do it every year.
No.
But it is a fun way to start the magic in the holiday season.
Yeah, and especially because all of the different cruise ships have different ways of kind of putting on the Christmas decor.
Yeah, I think the classic ships, let's say the Wonder, Magic, Dream, and Fantasy, they look all similar. Not the exact same, but pretty similar. The Wish and newer, right? We don't know what the Treasure looks like yet, but the Wish has like a gold Christmas tree. It's very different.
Yeah, and like the Wonder, for example, I think it's the Wonder or the Magic. I'm pretty sure it's the Wonder. They have like bluish ornaments.
Oh,
I think
okay.
on the garland. One of them does. One of the the original ships. So just like little touches where they're just different enough to where you're like you get like a different experience.
Yeah. I think you're just trying to sell me on doing all the ships during Merrytime.
We should.
Okay. So join our Patreon.
Did you have that on your bingo card for today?
No,
You're
I did not. But that's it. We loved it. We had a good time. Let us know if you've ever been on one, what your thoughts were, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, what have you. If you've got questions, let us know. We'd love to help answer any. Again, we're not travel professionals, but we've traveled a lot.
Yeah.
So
reach out over on Market House Podcast Instagram or markethousepodcast.com. There's a
Yes.
little like question thing that we
contact
have.
form.
Contact form, yeah.
Yeah. Visit it. It's a decent website.
I love it.
I mean, I'm a little biased. I built it myself. No, I didn't build it, but
You did do it, and it's awesome.
I dragged and dropped the blocks. That
You did way more than that.
Wow.
Don't listen to him. It was
I wish I was a
absolutely
web
awesome. If you haven't checked out the website, definitely check it out.
Don't get your, It's not like a crazy thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
decent.
think it looks great.
Thanks. All right, come on,
Oh my
stop it.
gosh.
Stop it. You
You
flatter
guys-
me. You flatter me. All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like I mentioned before, it is a huge help to the show, so thanks for taking the time to do that or considering it. We have a Patreon, markethousepodcast.com/support. You can join us over there to support the show directly, and we appreciate all of our members over there. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save $10 on your vacation. Join us next week for another episode. It's been grand. It's been fun. It's been filled with hot chocolate and Mickey cookies.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things. Why can't I get it out this week?
What's your name?
Kayla.
What up, Keelan?
This week we talk about sailing on the high seas.
It's Christmas.
Santa style. Bye.
Bye.